Hi everybody, welcome to another video. Today we are going to be doing some chair yoga, seated and standing yoga exercises. I'll show you some modifications for that. If you prefer to do them all seated, you can do that. So it's going to be appropriate for all levels. There will be nothing down on the floor. It will all be chair-based yoga, and this is going to be based on the senior yoga class that I used to teach. And so let's go ahead and get you started. A few things before we start. Of course, make sure that you have your sturdy chair. As always, make sure that it doesn't have wheels. It's not going to move. Preferably no armrest, just to make it easier for you to move around in your chair. And of course, make sure that your workout space is free of any clutter or tripping hazards. Make sure you have a nice stable surface there. Wear comfortable exercise shoes, sturdy shoes if you need to do that. And make sure that you have water available and that you're hydrating before, during, and after your exercise. And then, as always, listen to your body. If you need to slow down or make any modifications, feel free to do that. So let's go ahead and get you going. This one should feel pretty good to you today, a little bit less strenuous than some of the other videos, but keep in mind that I do have all of the other formats that I teach: the cardio exercise, the strength training with hand weights, with a band, with a squeezy ball, meditation videos. So make sure that you check out some of those if you haven't already done that, and get all those things in throughout your week. So let's go ahead and get you going here. So we're going to start by sliding all the way back in the chair, preferably having a nice sturdy back on it for some of the exercises that we're going to be doing. We're going to start with cat-cow. So if you've ever done this down on the floor, you know that this is just a gentle mobility exercise for your back, for your lower back. So we're going to begin with the hands on the knees. And for the cat portion of it, you're going to tuck your chin down and tuck your tailbone under. So you're kind of scooting forward just a tiny bit in your chair so that you can round your back. Now for the cow part of it, we're going to bring the elbows down to the legs and either flatten the back out, or if you feel comfortable, you can slightly arch the back. And then you're going to continue to move back and forth between those two. Rounding the back, tucking the chin, and flattening or arching the back. Now for our breathing, nice and gently, beginning to deepen that breathing. Inhale and exhale. So most important thing is that you continue to breathe throughout the workout and with any workout. It's very important not to be holding your breath, and usually that happens subconsciously when you're concentrating. And make sure that you do breathe. So inhale, exhale. Good. Let's do one more of those. So rounding to neutral spine, come all the way up. All right, so we're going to go right into our eagle pose. It's our next one because that is more of a closed exercise, and then we'll go through some opening exercises for the chest, shoulders, and hips. So for your eagle pose, this can be done seated or standing. We are going to do the seated version of it because the standing is a very intense balance challenge. So start by crossing one leg over the other. So this is the first part of it, just crossing the legs over at the knee. Of course, your modification, if you have any hip issues, any reason that you should not be crossing the legs like this, you can always do the ankle cross. And that's also going to be true later when we do the figure four stretch for the piriformis. So again, if you need to modify, just cross at the ankles. If you're okay with crossing at the upper legs, go ahead and do that. And then if you're really flexible and you feel okay with this, you can tuck that foot back around behind the calf. Again, that is just an option. That is not something that you have to do if you don't feel comfortable with that. If you have any pain or lack of flexibility there, reason not to do that. Now, the second part of the movement is crossing the arms. So take note of which leg is on top, and you're going to do the opposite arm on top. So right here, crossing at the elbows first, and then the three options are, you can just give yourself a nice hug, you can come back and touch the backs of the hands, or If you're feeling super flexible, you can come all the way around so that you're hooking the thumbs together. Then you're going to sit as tall as you can, lift the elbows, and look up. And again, these should feel like a comfortable stretch, so don't force yourself into any positions that don't feel okay for your body. Just work at the level that is right for you. Make sure that you're breathing through it. Nice deep breath in and out. We'll do a little meditation at the end of our workout today. All right, go ahead and let that out. Uncross arms and legs, and then we'll do the same thing on the other side. So crossing the other leg over the top. Again, if you need to just cross at the ankles, that's fine. If you're okay with crossing the entire leg, go ahead and do that. And then option, if you feel okay with tucking that foot all the way back around behind the ankle, you can do that. And then for the arms, remember that it's the opposite arm on top. All right, so we're crossing at the elbows to start. And then either hug or touch the backs of the hands or come all the way around and hook the thumbs and touch the palms. Then sit up as tall as you can, lift the elbows, look up, lengthen the spine, and again, it should feel like a comfortable stretch. Just gently stretching out those muscles, joints, and tendons. Make sure that you're breathing. Inhale, exhale, and release that out. All right, uncross the arms and legs. Very good job on that. Okay, so now let's do some openers for the chest and shoulders, and then we'll do the hips. So I'd like for you to move a little bit forward in your chair. Make sure that your chair is not going to tip forward. And then reach around, grab your hands together behind your back, rotate your shoulders back, slightly lean forward, and just lift behind you. All right, I'm just showing you what it looks like. You don't have to turn. So again, it should just be a comfortable stretch on your shoulders. You don't have to force it. Now release the hands out, and you're going to switch to just grabbing the back of your chair where the back of it meets the base. And now we're going to roll the shoulders back a little bit further. If you can, slide arch that low back and lifting the chin. Breathing through it. Good. Release it out. Reach forward. Let's go into our tabletop pose. You're leaning halfway forward here. Shoulders are down away from the ears. Good. And open out. And relax the arms down. Gently circle the wrists and just kind of loosely move the fingers around. Circle the other way. Breathing. And then arms all the way down. We're going to roll the shoulders front to back, starting with just both sides, rolling front to back. And I always like to just do the front to back movement just so that we're always encouraging correct posture. We're trying to counteract some of that forward shoulder roll and forward head that we tend to see. Now go ahead and do one arm at a time, and we're going to windmill again, front to back. Keep breathing through it. Just breathe comfortably. It should be a little bit deeper than your normal breathing, which may happen naturally just as you are aware of your breathing. We tend to deepen our breath as soon as we become more conscious of it. Now let's do our shoulder shrug. So pressing the palms down, elevate up towards your shoulders, and then push them all the way back down. So make sure that you're sitting tall with your chest up. Lift the shoulders and all the way back down. We're just going to do one more of that. And release all the way down, releasing any tension from your neck. Now we're going to do the turtle for the neck. I call this the turtle because rather than tucking down toward the chest, you're pulling the head straight back over the shoulders like a turtle pulling into the shell. So you want to make sure that your shoulders are down and back, and then it's like you're trying to give yourself a double chin. So you're not tipping down, you're just pulling your head straight back, and you're most likely going to feel a very strong stretch there. That is because we usually have our head too far forward and we're not being supported by our bodies. So this is something to strive for throughout the day, is pulling the head back over the shoulders. Let your body support your head rather than just your poor neck. It's having to deal with the weight of that and the stress of that. Yeah, remember to keep breathing. If you're concentrating hard, hold the breath. Keep breathing, even though this is a little bit intense. All right, now ear to shoulder. Again, this should just be a comfortable stretch. Don't force it beyond what you feel okay with. And now we're going to rotate down so we're looking towards our shoulder and looking towards the floor. And then look up toward the ceiling. Let's do that one more time. Down. And up. Then come back to center. Head is still pulled back into turtle. And then other ear to shoulder. And again, make sure that it's just a comfortable stretch. Comfortable range of motion. Now rotating so that the chin is pointing towards your shoulder and you're looking toward the floor. And come back up, look toward the ceiling. Do that one more time, keep breathing through it. Good, come back to center, and then this time we are going to tuck the chin down towards the chest with the shoulders still rotated back and down. Inhale, exhale, very good work. All right, let's just release the arms down and loosely at the sides, moving side to side. All right, so moving into some of our lower body exercises, let's first start with the outer thigh one. So we're going to step out wide, hands resting on the legs for support, and then you're going to hip hinge forward, keeping the back flat. So rather than rounding forward, we're going to lengthen that spine, just natural curvature of the back, and leaning till you get a comfortable inner thigh stretch there. Good. Make sure you keep the head above the heart, neck in neutral, and you're breathing. Roll all the way back up. Good. All right, let's bring the feet forward. So starting with the soles of the feet pressing down, you're just reaching towards your toes again, head above the heart, and we are keeping the chest up so that we're not rounding the shoulders. We don't want to reinforce any kind of poor posture. And now you can bring your toes up towards your knees. Bending the knees is completely fine, but if you need a little bit more extension out to get that stretch in the hamstring and calves, go ahead and do that. Bringing the chest down toward the legs. Again, eyes up, chin up, breathing. Good. And release. All right, let's go ahead and step in. Slide back in the chair. And then we're going to bring one knee up toward the chest. Circle that ankle. And circle the other way. Then bring the head down towards the knee as far as you can, just to stretch that glute. Now bring the head back up, extend that leg out, and we'll circle from the hip. Change direction. And now moving into our piriformis stretch. So the piriformis on the outer part of the glute. Remember that you can modify by just crossing the ankles, but if you're okay to bring the foot all the way up onto the other leg, it's okay if your knee is up. We're going to lean forward at the center. So don't worry about if you can't get the knee down very far. Just do as much as you can. And again, keeping that back flat, you're just going to start leaning forward until you feel a very strong stretch, moderate to strong, in the outer glute. If that's too intense, you can release it out and then try again. So this is an area that tends to get really tightened up on people. You can also do self-massage in that area as well. This is a great stretch to do every day, but not generally as your first stretch. Let yourself be a little bit warmed up before you do this, because this is one of the more intense ones. All right, great job. Go ahead and release out that leg. We're going to switch to the other side. So moving all the way back in the chair, we're going to start by holding behind the leg and circling at the ankle. Change direction. And then bring that knee up for your glute stretch, forehead coming down as far as you can. And lift the head back up, extend the leg out, circle from your hip. Change direction. All right, now our figure 4 stretch is what I call it, our piriformis stretch. Again, if you need to cross at the ankles for the modification, please go ahead and do that. If you're okay with bringing the foot all the way up, move into that position. Don't worry if the knee doesn't come down very far. And remember, when we lean forward, we're leaning right at center, so we're not rotating to one side or the other. Again, just keep the back lengthened out, hip hinge forward rather than rounding forward. The goal is not to come down as far as we can. The goal is to be feeling it in that outer glute area. So a strong but comfortable stretch. It shouldn't be super painful. It might be intense. Just go gently into it. Again, if you need to sit back up and then lean forward again, you can do that. And make sure that you're breathing. Very good job. So go ahead and come all the way back up. We are going to move into some standing stretches now. So make sure that you're hydrating. Very, very important, even in the winter. All right, so go ahead and come up. We're going to be using our chair for support. Our first one is going to be our modified downward dog. So I'm going to turn sideways just so that you all can see this. You can just stand right behind your chair. All right, so this is, of course, one of my favorite standing chair stretches, the modified downward dog. We don't have to go all the way down to the floor. We can just hold on to the top of the chair, take a big step back, and now the goal is to stretch the entire back side of your body. So you're pressing your tailbone towards the wall behind you, bringing your ears down by your arms if you can, stretching your shoulders, your upper back, your lower back, your hips, your hamstrings, and your calf. And breathing. Good. Slowly come back up, step in. Make sure that you don't come up too quickly. We don't want to get dizzy. All the way back up, and then just roll the shoulders out of the top. Now I'm going to continue to do the next couple of stretches sideways, just so that you can see them, but please feel free to just stay right where you are. We're going to start with the calf and Achilles stretch and then move into the quadricep hip flexor stretch. So you're going to take a big step backward with one foot. So you have one foot forward, the other foot back, toes are lined up toward the front, and we're starting with the calf and Achilles stretch. So that's going to be on the back leg. You're going to bend that front knee in towards your chair, keep your torso up tall, and drive that back heel down into the floor. Now you can scoot that back foot further in if it's too intense, or further back if you want a little bit more stretch there. Now lifting that back heel up, we're going to bend that back knee and then tuck the tailbone under. So now we're getting the stretch in the front of the thigh and that psoas. Be sure you keep the torso lifted up. All right, let's do the same thing on the other side. So big step back to start. Again, you can adjust your foot position as you like, but toes of both feet are pointed to the front, and you're bending the front knee in towards your chair, keeping the chest up and driving down through that back heel. Calf and Achilles to start with. Make sure that you're breathing. And then lift that heel up, bend that back knee. Now moving into our quadricep hip flexor stretch, you're going to tuck under a little bit. So we're tucking the bottom of the pelvis under, the top of the pelvis going back, and you're stretching the front of that leg. Very good job. All right, go ahead and step in. And now before we move over to the side of the chair, I'm going to have you do one. I'm going to turn to the front so you can see this a little bit better. A lot of us pronate, which means that we are rolling the ankles in. So we're going to do an exercise for the arches and the ankles. So I would like for you to pretend that there is a string pulling from the bottom of your foot through the top of your foot. So you're going to keep the balls of your feet down, your heels down, your toes are spread out as far as they can in your shoes, but you're going to lift your arch up again. It's that invisible string pulling from the bottom of your feet through the top of your feet. I know it's a weird visualization, but you will be able to lift your arches, all right? So we're going to create that support. At the same time, you're just very slightly rolling the ankles outward. Good, release that out. We'll just do it a couple more times. So now you might find that your ankles suddenly fall back in towards each other. And again, a lot of us pronate, so we're going to try to reverse that a little bit. So begin again with that lift through the arches. Make sure you keep the toes down. Don't grip too hard with your toes. You want to have that tripod stance here, here, and here on your feet. All right, now just gently rolling those ankles out. Good, and release. Let's do that one more time. So by the tripod stance, I mean the ball of the big toe, the ball of the little toe, and the heel. You want to evenly have your weight distributed. All right, once more, lifting through the arches, and then slightly rolling those ankles out. And release. All right, very good. Let's go ahead and shake that out. All right, so let's do some poses that are going to be really good for balance and flexibility. So hydrate if you need to. And we'll move into our tree pose next for balance. So come over to one side of your chair. You always have it there for support. You're going to shift your weight to the inside foot and then open the hip of the outside leg as much as you can. Now, of course, as always, you can keep your toes down on the floor. You can bring the foot below the knee of your standing leg or above the knee of your standing leg. Just make sure that you're not pressing directly on the knee joint. One or both hands into center. Good. Make sure you're breathing. Use the chair if you need it for balance. Keep the toes down if you need to. Open the hip as much as you can. Lengthen the spine. Imagine that we have another invisible string coming from the top of our head, lifting up toward the ceiling. So we're lengthening through our lower back, our upper back, and our neck. Good. All right, so you're going to step down and we're going to go into a split stance now. So very similar to the stance that we were doing for the calf and Achilles stretch, but this time we're going to be reaching the outside hand towards the front foot. So you have that chair there for support if you need it for balance. Keep your legs as straight as you can as you come down. So if you need to soften the knees, you can. But if you're okay, go ahead and just reach toward that front ankle. It's a very strong stretch in the back of the leg. So again, if you need to soften the knee, that's okay. Head above the heart. And now slowly come back up. We're going to keep the feet in this position, but we're reaching the outside hand to the back leg. Now, see if you can let go of your chair from this position. If you need to step into a little bit narrower stance, that's okay. And reach up. So you're reaching the back hand to the back leg, the front hand, fingers stretching up toward the ceiling, looking up towards your palm. Reach the other hand up. So now you're reaching up with both hands. You're going to bend the front knee now. So you're moving into a warrior one pose. Back heel is still pressed down if you can, but if you need to release that a little bit and lift it, that's okay. Again, chair is there with the inside hand if you need it. And then moving into warrior two. This may look familiar to some of you. You're going to keep the chest up, stretch those arms out, hands level with the shoulders. Front knee is still bent. Look towards your front hand. Now, I have my back heel lifted up, but if you can't, go ahead and press that back heel down. That's just my sensitive foot, so I'm going to keep it modified. Good. And now moving both arms to the front. Good. Let's go into a modified warrior three. You're shifting the weight onto that front foot. You can still keep that back heel down. And now hands on the legs. Go ahead and slowly come all the way up. Great job. All right, step in, shake out the arms and legs, and we're gonna go over to the other side of the chair. All right, so starting with our tree pose. So you're shifting to that inside foot, and then opening that outside hip. So knee out as wide as you can, whatever's appropriate for your body. Now again, you can have those toes down or come up higher. Again, I'm gonna keep this one modified since this is my problem foot, but you can go ahead and bring your foot up higher. Remember, it can be below the knee of the standing leg or above the knee. One or both hands into center. Relax your shoulders down. Make sure that you're breathing deeply. Lengthen the spine, that invisible string pulling up through the crown of your head towards the ceiling. Try to maintain your balance as much as possible, but the chair is there if you need it. Breathing. All right, very good. Go ahead and step back with that foot. We're going to go into that split stance again. So toes of both feet are pointing forward. Use the chair if you need it. And then soften that front knee if you need to. We're just reaching that front hand down towards the foot. Eyes up, chin up. Strong stretch through the hamstring, so modify if you need to. And slowly come back up. Now, we're going to bring that hand to the back leg. See if you can let go of the chair. Reach those fingers up, palm facing in towards you, and then if you're okay with your balance, go ahead and deepen that even further so you're just leaning back slightly. Look up. Remember to breathe. Good. And now moving into our warrior one. So both hands are reaching up, shoulders are down away from the ears, and bend your front knee. Heel can be pressing down into the floor. If you're feeling okay with that, modify if you need to. And now moving into our warrior two, you're going to rotate, open through the chest and shoulders. Both hands lifted up level with the shoulders. Front knee is bent. Look towards your front hand. Shoulders are back. And we're breathing. Into our warrior three, modified, reaching forward into tabletop pose, and then shift the weight forward onto that front foot. Toes of that back foot can still be down. Very good. All right, let's go ahead and relax out of that. Step in and shake out the arms and legs. Hydrate if you haven't done that for a little bit. And then we'll do a couple more things behind our chair. So going into cat-cow from the standing position. So very similar to when we were doing it at the start. You're going to have the hands on the chair this time. We're going to begin by tucking the chin down, rounding the back, and tucking the tailbone under. And then move into cow pose. So you're rounding or flattening out the back. And just like before, go back and forth. Inhale as you round. Exhale as you flatten out. Inhale as you round. Always comfortable range of motion for these. Exhale as you flatten out or arch the back. One more time. Yourself come all the way up, roll the shoulders, step out slightly wider, and we're going to do a great big hula hoop with the hips. Change direction. And then our pelvic tilts front and back. Soft knees if you want to. That just means a slight knee bend. side. And then just nice and loose side to side. And then before we go back to our chair, I'd like to finish with a standing mountain pose. So you're going to go with just a wider foot position, toes turned out slightly. This is a calming one. We're going to relax the shoulders down, turn the palms forward. Neck is in neutral. Lengthen through your body. Close your eyes. Inhale. Exhale. Good. You can open your eyes. All right, let's come back to the chair. And finishing here with just a very brief meditation. Of course, you can always make it longer. You can continue on your own or use one of the other meditation videos. But I'd like for you for a moment to just sit comfortably in your chair. Feet are resting down flat on the floor, hands resting on your lap. Shoulders relaxed all the way down. Close your eyes. Inhale and exhale, slowly releasing the air all the way out. Inhale exhale. Let's do one more nice deep breath. And then you can gently open your eyes. And again, if you would like to continue with your meditation, please feel free to do so. Check out another meditation video or go ahead and continue on your own now or at another time. Make sure that you're taking the time to do that as well. And please do continue with your deep breathing throughout the day. Make sure that you're remembering that, remembering our posture exercises. I would like to finish with just a big reach up, lengthening out the spine, really lifting up and lean to one side. Lean to the other side. And come back to center. Namaste. Thank you so much for joining me today for our chair yoga session. Please do check out some of my other videos. We're in the 50 plus now on our videos. It's crazy. Make sure that you do subscribe either to my YouTube channel, click the notification bell to make sure that you get all the videos when I upload, and like it if you liked it. Same thing on my Facebook business page, Body Image Fitness 2020. Check that out, like and subscribe to the page, and let me know if you have any trouble finding me for either one of those channels. Send me a message and I will let you know exactly how to find all of my social media. So again, I hope you enjoyed, and I will hopefully get a new video out to you very soon. Have a great rest of your day. Bye.